Russia has issued a stark warning to the West, with the Kremlin unveiling revisions to its nuclear weapons policy. President Vladimir Putin announced that any conventional attack on Russia supported by a nuclear power will be treated as a joint strike, signaling potential nuclear retaliation. The changes, outlined on Wednesday, are seen as a direct message to Western nations, particularly those aiding Ukraine in its ongoing war with Russia.
It's a signal warning those countries about the consequences in case of their involvement in an attack on our countries with various assets, not necessarily nuclear ones.
Peskov stressed the modifications are meant to highlight the severe consequences of backing attacks on Russian territory, even if those attacks do not initially involve nuclear weapons.
Sober-minded heads of state, politicians, and analysts have already understood perfectly well the seriousness of President Putin's statements, especially when it comes to such things as an unprecedented confrontation provoked by the direct involvement of Western countries, including nuclear-armed countries, in the conflict around Ukraine.
The revised Foundations of State Policy in the Sphere of Nuclear Deterrence broadens the scope for nuclear weapon use in response to non-nuclear aggression. Putin emphasized that under the new framework, nuclear weapons could be employed if a conventional strike threatens Russia's sovereignty. The ambiguity of this provision leaves open the possibility of a nuclear response to large-scale airstrikes or other significant military actions. The Kremlin's move is largely aimed at deterring the West from supplying Ukraine with longer-range missiles, which could be used to strike Russian territory. Putin's latest doctrine change comes as Moscow continues to make slow but steady gains in the Ukraine war, which is now in its third year. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg condemned Russia's new nuclear rhetoric. He accused Moscow of attempting to intimidate the alliance, but reiterated NATO's long-term commitment to Ukraine.
Russia's nuclear rhetoric is dangerous and reckless. We are closely watching what Russia is doing.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken criticized Putin's comments as irresponsible, pointing out that the international community, including China, has previously opposed Russia's nuclear threats. As the Kremlin recalibrates its nuclear policy, concerns about a broader conflict with the West continue to grow.